Duuuval. And but we want to get to know the John Phillips, the sports guy, the Jacksonville guy. So speaking of that, what brought you to Jacksonville? What's your Jacksonville story?
Yeah, so 2001, a job came open here, and they agreed to pack and move me here out from Mobile, Alabama. And it's a lot like Mobile. Mobile's got a little more French influence, but I sat at the landing and on the St. Johns River and was just enamored by the beauty of Jacksonville and its beaches right here, and moved here for an insurance defense job. And that was 2001, 18 years later. We're still here. My kids, I'm proud that all three of my kids were born here. We're going to be living in the 904 for the rest of our lives.
I like it.
Hey, John, how did you know you first wanted to be an attorney?
So my maternal, it's funny, I name drop. I was talking to Gardner Minshew's dad the other day because of the banner we flew, which we'll get into, and his Aunt Vicky is from a little town in Mississippi, in Waynesboro, and she asked who my kind of lineage was. And I said, the Busby family. And she goes, author George Busby. And I was like, exactly. He was a lawyer, and his father was a judge there in Wayne County, Mississippi. And so I had never met them, but my mom talked just, almost like this Atticus Finch type legend, and stories of them trading and bartering, things for legal services and going into the homes of at the time, in Mississippi, African Americans, and helping with wills and helping with stuff that you just generally didn't do. And it just spurred this thing to me. I remember those vocational tests you take like in 8th grade where you fill in the dots and it tries to tell you what you were going to be. I remember faking it and thinking, gosh, by my little mind, like, what would a lawyer do? Do they like paperwork? Yeah, they like paperwork. Do they like filing? Probably. And just filling it out so that it would spit out I was a lawyer so I could go to mom and say, let's pay for law school.
Yeah, I know your job can be very challenging. What are some of the things that you love about it?
It's, the most challenging parts and the parts we love coincide often. And ever since we represented the family of Jordan Davis, the young man who was shot and killed at the Gate gas station, I've had the fortune and misfortune of attending a lot of funerals. Being with families at the absolute worst time. Even my paralegal lost her son this week, and being there is one of the hardest things. You don't sleep at night, but the reward of helping people through that, and it's not about money. It's about justice. Justice is spelled one way, but it's defined by the prosecution of the guy that killed your son, by holding people accountable. And so that has been kind of the transition of the hardest part.
Okay. And so let's switching gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the Duuuval House. So big thing. How did that idea come up? What's going on with the Duuuval House?
So everything tracks back these days to Twitter. So somebody posted on Twitter a picture of what the Duuuval House used to be. And it was this asbestos shingle place that kind of needed to be condemned. You kind of place you'd expect on a tax deed sale, right? And so it was listed on LoopNet for $300,000, but the owner died, and the son couldn't sell it because there was about $2 million in tax debt, IRS debt. And so I'm like, guys, quiet. Like, hold on, let's not advertise this thing's going to IRS auction. And, like people used to hear all the time about these IRS auctions, we showed up on the front steps of the courthouse and only one other person showed. We expect Shad Khan and Slayman and every investor to show up. And we actually paid the other guys not to bid and said, look, get out of this auction. And we got it. There's a 6-month redemption period that they can come up with the money, but it was about $2 million. So we got it, have gutted it out, painted it teal. Every single week has had a charitable partner. I think you guys are going to team up with us and raise some money at some point this season. And it's become this thing. The town has embraced Duuuval so much. and it's a play on the old Duuuval House in Key West, and so we made it the Duuuval House, and it's just been fun. It really, the first idea was, let me get a place where my 3 kids can run around without dodging cars, because that's the problem with tailgating is you got tailgates and engines.
Yep.
And so it's turned into this thing, and it's literally right across from the stadium. We've loved having it.
What are some of the organizations that you guys have been able to help through the Duuuval House?
So upcoming, the big ones we're proud of is St. Jude Children's Hospital. That's in 2 weeks. We've got Lex and Terry from the National Morning Radio Show flying in. Brett Myers, I think, is going to be playing. He used to be a World Series winning pitcher. The Real Men Wear Pink. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. They've been with us. The Police Athletic League, organization near and dear to my heart because it gives kids an option of things to do after school. It's each week's been a charitable partner, and so we've tried to team with a bunch of different causes that really give back to our community.
Well, it seems like everything's kind of geared up with Duuuval, Teal. We know you're a Jags fan. Where do you think we're heading?
It's an exciting time, and it's easy to be down on the Jags right now, and people talk about the issues with our cornerback or former cornerback or who knows what on what given day, but Minshew mania has gripped the city.
Oh yeah,
and we're 8 inches shy on a 2-point conversion from being 3-1, and that one was against Kansas City, and we lost our quarterback. So I mean, there's a lot more to be positive about, I think, than negative. Now we could finish weak and be a top 5 draft pick again, but it lays out with quarterback injuries around the league and other things going on that I'm excited. So for Denver, we flew a banner that was all the Uncle Rico memes going on, and we flew a banner that said Gardner, crowdsourced it. I'm just one of the people, but we organized flying a banner that said Gardner Minshew can throw over mountains.
Yeah.
And Flint, Gardner's dad, called and just loved it. Yeah. And they're so down to earth, and they're kind of the Gardner's like the guy next door, and you just want to see so much success for him. And he's just gripping the nation with his mustache and his headband, and it's just so good to see positivity come out of it, because so much negative comes out of the Jaguars and the NFL, on a storyline that the media covers, and it's just great that we're part of positive, something positive.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And are you going to grow a Minshew mustache? I know Daniel and Mo are thinking about it.
Yeah, so we bought about
with the Shad Khan one.
There you go. Okay. We bought about 300 stick-ons from eBay, and I'm gonna stick with the beard, that I've had for a while, and but if we could find a source for teal Duuuval headbands, I'd be the first one to buy a bunch of them, because it's just fun, and the Duuuval House has 30,000 people walking by, and we've given people sunscreen and water, and we're debating whether we're going to do mustaches for one of the next 2 games. Just let people have the option of the beautiful facial hair.
There you go. No, I'm excited, and we all hope the team does well. We're all Jaguars fans. So it's exciting to see the whole Minshew thing happening. The Duuuval House, I think it's awesome. It's been great to have you on our show.
I'm sorry, I do have one more question for you, John. One of Mo's friends found out that you're going to be on the show, and they asked, what's the best advice you would give to anyone that was an aspiring attorney? Phenomenal question.
The typical answer is pay attention in school and all of that. I wasn't very good at that answer. I was kind of the Gardner Minshew of law school, kind of bartending and doing my own thing around the University of Alabama. But the second half of my career has gone better because, and it's to paraphrase the Dalai Lama, at some point you got to stop speaking and start listening. You never learn speaking. You always learn listening. And it's a matter of putting yourself around people that are smarter than you in any room and really listening to what they have to say, which is why shows like this are so fantastic, because it gives an audience a chance to hear a perspective they don't always have, to learn something, whether about real estate or Teal Man or whatever it is, because that's branding, right? I mean, Teal Man's been about branding, that really, gives somebody a chance to learn and think. I would say, surround yourself with people who have something, in the legal background, or somebody to kind of aspire to be.
I got one last thing too, John.
Yeah.
I know you're out there, you're helping, with organizations, charitable contributions. Where can the folks out there that are listening, where could they go help out if they wanted to contribute towards something that you have going on that week?
Fantastic. So this being breast Cancer Month, we've teamed up for 3 years. I was the first one, and then Matt Hunt, my law partner, was the second, and Billy Walker, who just had a little girl, is ongoing right now. But it's the Real Men Wear Pink campaign. People can donate at pinklawyers.com. He's a couple $1,000s short of goal. We'll be raising money for them, and we'll get to the other causes. But my mother's wife is afflicted with breast cancer. It's gone through our family and many other families, and men get it too. And it's to hear the stories of women who have gone through it, or just, we all think we have bad days, and then you follow somebody that's really going through the hardest of times and mortality. And, pinklawyers.com is a way you can help.
Pinklawyers.com. Well, John, again, thank you so much for coming on our show.